am making some cherry truffles. Now I've got my 1/4 cup of butter there, and my powdered sugar, 3 cups. And my 2 tablespoons of milk. And my number red 40, which probably won't be around much longer. And my cherry extract. Okay, we're going to mix this all together, and I might need a little bit more butter. I said butter, I meant powdered sugar. Because I had the liquid food coloring, that's why I need a little bit more. I'm going to take, and I'm supposed to roll these. Ooh man, this may still be too soft. Okay, this is still too soft, so I'm gonna set this in the refrigerator and let it get a little bit more firm, and then I will come back and do my little dollops. And I'm only using gloves just so I don't stain my hands. This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. Okay, I had these sitting outside because it's like, you know, 5 degrees outside, and they're set up a little bit more. So I'm gonna make all the little balls, and then I'm gonna come back in and roll them. Now you do not have to use gloves at all. I'm just using gloves to keep my hands from getting stained. All right, now I'm gonna go in and roll all of these. Okay, I'm gonna let these sit in the freezer and set up a little bit more so that they're really good and frozen, so when they dip in the chocolate they won't just melt right away. It is 5 degrees outside, so I had my little cherry bonbons there. Okay, so over here I have my chocolate that is mostly melted, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of coconut oil to thin it. See, it's too thick. So this is not my normal Wilton's that I use for dipping, or almond bark. It's a different, it's still candy wafers, but it's not as good, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna add another. Now if you don't have coconut oil, you can use shortening, that's totally fine. You can also, if you don't have candy wafers, you can also use chocolate chips and coconut oil. That will work also. That's probably pretty good. Okay, well, let's sit for just a minute while it finishes melting these last couple of little bits, and then I'll come back and dip it. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to dip. Now I have a fresh parchment here because I don't want all the red on the outside to get on my beautiful coating here, okay? So, yeah. Okay, well, that didn't work. Now I might have to do these twice. Yep, I'm gonna have to do these twice. Shoot. Let me try dipping. Okay, well that didn't work. Okay, that did not go as anticipated, but I'm gonna let these set up and I'm gonna dip them again. I'll probably have to get fresh chocolate. So incredibly frustrating. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, my evening is not going very well. So I just accidentally dumped probably at least a quarter of a cup, maybe a third of a cup of coconut oil in here because it's not doing it's not doing well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make these into chocolates because now it's too thin. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more chocolate to this so that it is not so thin. And then we'll try and dip again. Okay, we're going to try again because I am Tara and I keep trying. Now, I don't know if this is going to work because this whole thing just seems to be not working. Okay, so now I'm going to dip with a fork and see, will that work? Dip. I'm trying to land them on their original flat bottom there. I have to admit, I don't know why I keep continuing to attempt to dip chocolates because every time I do, it's just a disaster.
You know, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and
expecting different results. They're coming to take me away. Oh, they're coming to take me away. You're like, she's in here. You can find her in here. How long do you think I will need at the asylum, Jack? I think 6 months is enough.
Probably not.
I think a year. I say we go for a year. Okay. Gonna let those set up. We'll see if anything works. Here's one that's already set up, but I'm gonna let them all set up. And then we'll see if, I don't know if it worked. Okay, I have these all setting up, but I will never use this chocolate again. Oh my goodness, this is awful. I don't know. Yeah. So, not quite sure what happened. But let me take one here and it is very lovely. And very tasty, but I would definitely use the almond bark or candy melt wafers, not these bulk ones that I got. Use the Wilton for the outer coating. I am making some Valentine brownies. So I got this brownie mix for 40 cents after Christmas. And It's got all this icing and everything, but I'm doing it for Valentine's Day, so I don't need all that stuff. So I guess save it for St. Patrick's Day maybe. And then I can save the sprinkles for Christmas. Okay, now, this cake mix is expired. And just to make sure that my baking powder in the cake mix isn't expired too, so it's not. Everything in here is fine. It's just the baking powder might not work, because baking powder is the only thing that would actually be expired in here. So I'm gonna just add a teaspoon of baking powder just to see if it will, or just to make sure that it's not expired. Okay, so I got that. And then I got my oil. And then my eggs. And then my water. Okay. So I'm gonna mix this all together. Now, I've already greased, but this is my refillable oil. And we'll spread this in my pan. And I'm going to put this in the oven and bake it, and then I'll show you how I'm going to make this Valentine. Okay, throw this in the oven. Okay. Now, if you want my original fudge recipe from scratch, you can get it in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. On page 361 is my fudge brownies. You can take a picture right here. Or on page 362 is my regular brownies. These are more cake-like. You can take a picture here or take a picture of the QR code and go to my website, livingonadime.com. The link is also in the description below. Okay, so now these are really hot. I have 9 hearts. So these are just white chocolate Valentine hearts. So for those of you who don't know, a plastic knife works really good for cutting brownies. It doesn't make them all smushed. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. I'm not gonna take them out of the pan yet. Oops, I lied. That one's smushed. Okay, so then I'm gonna take, and I don't know if this is gonna work. Is this gonna work? This isn't gonna work. I'm gonna smush the chocolate in to each brownie. Well, I don't think this is working. Oops, there's a little piece of packaging. Oh, I must have had 10 of these. So I give one to Mike to say, I love you. Do you want a piece of white chocolate to say, I love you, dear?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna let these cool, and then we're gonna come back and see if they will come out of the pan and if they'll be cute or not. All right, I put my finger in this one to see if it had set up, and it hadn't. So it smushed it. But let me see if this worked. Okay, well, we'll start with this one since it got messed up. Okay, gotta admit, that's pretty darn tootin' cute, even if I do say so myself. I'm trying a cake mix cookie recipe using red velvet cake that has a little bit of a twist. I thought, well, that's kind of cool. Okay, so I got my red velvet cake mix here. And my eggs. And oil. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime Cookbook, Volume 2, on page 278. We have 3 pages of variations. Now I've got my cookie sheet. Okay, I got my cookie scoop here, and I'll put one. Oh man, I got one cookie left. Let's see, can I? Okay, let's see. Smush down a little bit. You know what, those are gonna spread too much. I just know they are. So I'm just gonna do another pan. Playing cookie Jenga here. Okay, here's the secret ingredient though. I got these white chocolate hearts, and I saw this is not my original idea. I saw this on the internet, so credit to whoever it was. I was just scrolling through Facebook or someplace where I saw it. And she put these in the center, and supposedly they will turn out. So what I'm testing here is to see if they're gonna turn out. Okay, I'm gonna throw this in the oven and bake it. go. Okay, I just was dealing with one of my offspring passing out. So these got left in just a little bit too long. Well, I had to go help them. So I put in the next tray. So let's see if the next tray it doesn't get toasty, but that actually would be really yummy, like a toasted marshmallow. So gonna let these cool and then we'll see. All right, these are the correct time here. Now, I need these beautiful ones for thumbnail. So here is the, look at that, oh yum. You gotta love a good real velvet cake. I am making a cherry swirl fudge, chocolate cherry swirl fudge. So think chocolate covered cherries. I've got my package of chocolate chips first and a can of sweetened condensed milk. Okay, so I'm gonna microwave this and stir every 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna stir this. Ooh, yeah, they got nice and melted. Okay, I'm gonna let the heat finish melting that while I get my pan prepared. I am taking a parchment paper and I'm gonna use 2 pieces since my other fudge was sticking. Hold it down so it sits neater. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to get this stirred in. Now, you could layer this if you want, but I'm gonna swirl it. And I've got my red candy wafers here. And I ran out of red, so I'm gonna hopefully finish with the white. I hope this doesn't turn it pink. We'll see. So I've got that, and then my sweetened condensed milk, and we're gonna melt this together. Okay, melt this first. This recipe is based off of my 2-ingredient fudge recipe in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 2, on page 2 something. Where'd it go? Page 315. Okay, I'm gonna stir this every 30 to 45 seconds. This one went 45. And did we get it all? Wow, that still looks pretty red. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna add just a teensy tiny bit of red food coloring just to make it super red. Okay, and then adding my cherry flavoring. Now, you can get the cherry chips and use the cherry chips. I just don't have them in my town. They are great. I don't know if you can find them at Valentine's Day or only Christmas, but I love them. Okay, so now I'm going to take, pour it into my chocolate. Oh my goodness, that looks festive. Now, my spatula will make probably too big of swirls, and I want smaller swirls. So I'm just going to work and just fold it in. Lift, turn and lift. Just kind of pull your chocolate in, the red. There we go. Oh, that's looking nice. Scraping down to the bottom. Pulling up the red. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm gonna stick this in the fridge for several hours or overnight, and then we will cut it. Oh, yum. All right, there we go. I got my fudge. It is very cold in my pan. Oops. Had a little malfunction here. It's pretty good. Okay, let's see. That looks pretty darn tootin' good. Okay, here's a short squatty one. Yeah, that's really delicious. Oh, yum. I'm making a cherry fudge. Now, I've got my 3 cups of white chips here and my cherry pie fill, or not pie filling, frosting here. And I'm going to melt these in the microwave. I'm stirring every 30 to 45 seconds. Wow, that might have been done already, so I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute, get cool or get warm. The rest of the chips that I just stirred. Got my parchment paper here. And, oh, I forgot this is the smaller one. And I'm gonna put it in my pan there. And wow, this parchment paper does not want to be freed from its bondage. There. Okay. There we go. Now we got it going on both sides so that hopefully it won't stick. Okay, so now we're gonna get this stirred all together. Oh, that looks lovely. we're going to take and put this in the refrigerator, let it set up. We're gonna come back and decorate and cut it. Now, this is 2 ingredients. I'm gonna make it 4 with my decorating, but it's just my basic 2 ingredient fudge recipe. Okay, all right, come back and cut it. All right, this is set up nice and firm. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and melt some bright white candy melts. Not very many, like 2 tablespoons. Okay, is it melted? Okay, I'm gonna melt it just a little bit more. Okay, while it's melting, I'm going to take out my fudge. Oh, that looks lovely. Now, that's not thin enough for me to drizzle on there. So I've got my jug of coconut oil here. And I'm going to put a little bit in here. And I know somebody's gonna say, Tara, how did you get this whole jug, plastic jug melted? So I put it on my heater vent in the winter. And then it melts, and then I pour it into smaller containers so that I can use it easier. Mason jars. Okay, just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now I just want to fling it all over my fudge. And I'm using a fork so it doesn't get too much in one spot. Oops, just like that. That's what I was trying to avoid. Okay, then I'm going to take my sprinkles. I guess we'll do a little heart since it's Valentine's Day. And I'm going to sprinkle, try aiming for the white parts, but you know how that goes. Oops, they're almost all gone. Okay, there we go. So now we're gonna let that set up and then we will cut it. Okay, that looks so lovely. Oh, that looks lovely. Okay, so this is my smaller pan, so I'm going to cut 5 instead of 6. Looks like I was drunk cutting this. Oops. Okay, Jack, can you attest that I have not been drinking? Jack, you gotta work with me here.
I don't want to be
taken to jail for perjury.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how in the world I got this, but okay, whatever. It will work. Okay, there we go. We'll just make these for us. Okay, that is pretty darn tootin' cute, even if I do say so myself. Yum. I am making 2 ingredient cherry, I don't know, cobbler. I don't know what you would call this. It just sounded so good. I've made several variations of this. I don't think I've done this one. I can't remember, I've done so many. Okay, got my cinnamon rolls in the can that aren't coming out of the can. I sprayed with my reusable oil sprayer my pan here. So I'm going to cut these all into pieces, just like so. Woo, that's a big stack right there. Look at that huge stack right there. Okay, break all these pieces up, just like so. I'm going to take my can of cherry pie filling. All right, dump it all in there, and then I'm just going to mix it all around. Just like so. Oh, yum. Mmm. You gotta love a good pie filling. Now, you don't have to be this particular, but if you're taking it to a, church dessert, women's meeting at church, whatever, I'm gonna wipe off my edges with a absolutely brand new, well, not brand new, but freshly washed wash rag. So it looks all spiffy on the sides, okay? And it all evened out a little bit here. Okay, now we're gonna throw this in the oven and bake it. Oh my goodness, this is like a 2-minute recipe. I've been filming for exactly 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Wow. All right, here is my cherry, I don't know what you want to call this, dessert. Got the little packet here. Oh my goodness, that looks so delicious. I am trying a 3-ingredient cheesecake here. Now, this is only the second time I've ever bought cookie dough. I don't buy cookie dough, but that's my oven preheating. I'm going to give this a try. Now these are kind of, now what I saw was they took cookie dough and then they put it in a pan and then they put cheesecake in there. But this cookie dough is like really hard. Is this gonna work? Okay, I'm gonna let it sit out and cool for just a little bit and see if I can work it into the pan. Okay, so I just realized to do this, I don't have enough of these. So I'm gonna try something different. Okay, so I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see. Okay, I got this little itty bitty jar here. Well, that might work. All right, we're just gonna try. All right, I'm gonna put this in the oven and bake it. This video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have quick and easy recipes your family will love to help you get in and out of the kitchen fast. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. Some of these didn't hold their shape, so I'm gonna take and just push it down a little bit further to get more cheesecake in there. Actually, I'm just gonna do it for all of them. So these are hot, just took them out of the oven. I'm just making a bigger indentation to put my cheesecake. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool and then I'm gonna come back and film. All right, I got my scoop and my cheesecake. I'm going to do one each. Oh, that's so nice. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, now I can keep this 2 ingredient if I want, but oops, I don't want that much in there. Okay, that's too much, I think. Okay, but what I'm gonna do is take chocolate chip and I'm going to put a few chocolate chips on each one. So maybe I'll do a few sprinkles. Let's see, should I do a few sprinkles and a few chocolate chips? How about that? Should I do these? Oh, that's cute. There we go. Ooh, I like that. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. Those are just too darn tootin' cute. You gotta love it. Should I cut one? Let's see. Will it cut? Will it cookieify? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. If you love cheesecake, this is the one for you. That is good.